Hey, welcome back. My name is Jay Oza. I teach, mentor, and coach people on public speaking so that they can give winning high stakes speeches, whether it's for a job interview, a business meeting, or even a conference. Today, I want to talk about how do you approach a stranger with a request? Well, let's face it, at some point in time, we're going to have to approach a stranger with some kind of a request. Now, a lot of people think of that as cold calling, which is true, but sometimes we have to. If we don't initiate it, we're not going to make progress. So, how do you do it? What is effective? Before I tell you what's effective, let me tell you a recent incident where I approached a stranger with a simple request and it didn't go well. And then I thought about it and said, why didn't it go well? What could I have done better? And I'm going to give that to you later. But first, let me just give you a little background here. So I was in Virginia to attend my nephew's graduation party. And next morning, I took my wife's car to get gas since there wasn't any gas in the car. And in Virginia, it's self-service, unlike New Jersey, where we never have to get out of the car. We just open the tank, and that's it. The person will fill the gas for us. So when we leave New Jersey, we're kind of lost. So something we're just not used to. So I get to the gas station nearby, and I hit the push button in her car, and the fuel door doesn't open. I'm like, whoa, I can hear it. I can hear the noise. It's trying to open, but it's not opening. Now I got a dilemma. Do I go back to where we were staying, my sister-in-law's place with other guests, and be embarrassed saying, like, I couldn't ask somebody? Or do I just wait and get somebody to help me? So I thought, okay, I can't go back. That would look too stupid. So I stayed there till another car came by. Finally, a car came by. A woman gets out of the car, and I asked her politely, I said, ma'am, could you do me a favor? I need somebody to hit this push button for the fuel door tank so that I can open it and then put gas in it. And I don't know whether she understood me, but I thought I was pretty clear. But somehow she kind of got like, who's the stranger asking me this? I don't know this guy. And she basically got back in her car and drove away. And I was like, what? I scared her that much? So she left. Now I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm like kind of embarrassed. Like I said, I hope I didn't say anything bad to her. It completely threw her for a loop. So a guy comes, and she was like a little bit farther away. But there was another guy at that station, pulls in to get gas. And I said, sir, can you do me a favor? I need some help in somebody opening this while I push this push button to open the fuel door tank. And he helped me out. And I got gas and I came home. And it bothered me that what did I do with that lady that made her react that way? So the only thing I could come up with in the future, how would I do it? Because I don't think I said anything in a rude manner or anything like that. I was just very polite. I said, look, I need a favor from you if you don't mind. I think in the future, when you ask a stranger any kind of a request, what you must do is you're asking, but then give them the option of saying no also. So I think a right approach should have been, ma'am, I need a favor from you or somebody to help me push this button so that I can open the fuel tank since I can't reach it. But if it's too much trouble, I can understand. So what I've done there is I've given her the option to say no. So when you ask and you don't give that option, people will like, wait a second, I don't know you. Why are you asking something? So the lesson here is you definitely have to approach strangers. You have to make cold calls, but you always have to give them an out. Give them an out and say, look, I understand if you're busy, or I understand this, or I understand you, so that they know that you are considerate, that you know you broach something, but you're also kind of saying that, look, you have a right to say no, and if it's something that doesn't work out for you, then just say no, and I can handle that. And I think it's also good for the person who's asking, because if somebody says no, you don't feel bad because you already gave that option. And you should give that option, because when you give that option, the person is more likely to say yes. So one of the things that I would advise people is the following. You have to approach strangers, you have to ask, but then also give them the option to say no, and you're okay with it. No big deal, no harm. Hey, I understand. You've got other things to worry about. And the reason is that you don't know the person's situation. Maybe that person had a fight with somebody in the house. Maybe that person has something going on. Maybe that person is in a hurry. So there are so many unknown factors that you don't know. You only know what you want, but you don't know what the motivation is for the other person to even help you. So you ask because that's what you want, but then you should realize that that person could have so many other things going on in her or his mind, and you have to be respectful to that and say, look, I understand if there are things going on, if there's anything, if it's too much trouble right now, then I understand it. So you have to kind of ask, but then also take it back and say, and I bet you by doing that, you're not only protecting yourself, you come across looking more trustworthy, but I think it also makes you look like a person who's vulnerable and somebody who want to help you. So that's the approach that I would take in the future. If I ask something to a stranger, find out what the right ask is. And you have to work on the right ask and the right tone. So there are so many factors here. The right ask, the right tone, and then withdraw it, and then see, and don't feel bad, and just say thank you. So that way you're not hurt. You don't appear hurt. Because if you don't do that, then you're not going to ask. Because ask itself, you're going to get rejected, and you're going to take it personally and not try again. So you want to ask a rejection-proof ask with rejection built into it. So you understand what I'm saying? So you create a rejection-proof ask. Like, ma'am, I need a favor. I need some help because, like that, because I need to put gas and I can't do both things at the same time. People got now say, okay, what does he want? So it to be like this. What is your ask? Why are you asking? What do you want that person to do? That's it. What is your ask? Why are you asking? And what do you want that person to do? And if it's too much trouble, I can understand it. And thank you for just even considering. So you've done several things that makes you look like you are very considerate. You're really in a bind. And the person will say, you know, this is the one person I can help. And that's how I do it. Is it going to work all the time? Absolutely not. But I think it'll increase your chances. You're not going to have that reaction where the lady just gets in her car and just darts off because I don't know what she thought of me. I look kind of harmless, but evidently not. Okay, so think about this, try it, and let me know what you think. Because we got to do this. This is not something we just say, I'm never going to ask. We have to ask. And also, how do you like to be asked? Would that work with you? So try, role play this with your colleague, your friend, your relative, your family member, and say, here's how I'm going to ask you, and here I want you to ask. How are you going to do it? It's something that you should try it with children, because the children are pretty good at it. But a lot of times when we ask, we tend to be very much self-centered, and that's not the right ask. Ask should be, you got to put yourself in the other person's shoes too. How is that person going to react? Why would that person want to help you? So you got to frame that ask the right way. So again, ask with a purpose. Why are you asking? What is your reason for ask? What do you want that person to do? And then say, listen, I can understand if this is too much trouble because you don't know what their situation is. And no matter what you do, thanks anyway. That's it. 5 simple steps. That's it. That's all you need to do. And you may even modify it. You don't even need that many steps. Okay? But you definitely need to ask why, what do you want the person to do, and then just say, take it away.